Venezuela's opposition leader Juan Guaidó says he has held secret meetings with the military to win support for ousting President Nicolas Maduro. Mr. Guaidó declared himself interim president earlier this month and was immediately recognized by the US and several Latin American countries. Major powers Russia and China back Mr. Maduro, and military support is seen as crucial to his hold on power. The crisis comes as Mr. Maduro began a second term after controversial polls. Many opposition candidates were barred from running or jailed. About 3 million people have fled Venezuela amid acute economic problems, and there has been an upsurge in violence in recent weeks. US President Donald Trump tweeted on Wednesday that he had spoken to Mr. Guaidó and supported his historic assumption of the presidency, writing in a second tweet that the fight for freedom has begun. UK Foreign Secretary Jeremy Hunt meanwhile is expected to urge EU nations to impose sanctions on key figures in Mr. Maduro's government on Thursday, after also speaking to Mr. Guaidó on Wednesday. "We have had clandestine meetings with members of the armed forces and the security forces," Mr. Guaidó writes in an article in the New York Times. The military's withdrawal of support from Mr. Maduro is crucial to enabling a change in government, and the majority of those in service agree that the country's recent travails are untenable. The article also says the opposition has offered an amnesty to armed forces found not guilty of crimes against humanity. However, Mr. Guaidó did not say who in the military he had been speaking with or what their positions were. As head of Venezuela's National Assembly, Mr. Guaidó says the constitution allows him to assume power temporarily when the president is deemed illegitimate. Venezuela's Supreme Court has banned the opposition leader from leaving the country, however, and frozen his bank accounts. Venezuela's president earlier told Russian news agency RIA he was prepared to hold talks with the opposition so that we could talk for the good of Venezuela.